The victims in Rochdale were vulnerable young teenagers from troubled backgrounds. Over a period of more than 3 years, under the noses of the very agencies which were supposed to protect them, the children were groomed, given alcohol and drugs, then raped and sexually abused by a gang of 9 adult men.
I don't even know how many men that I had to sleep with that I didn't want to. I couldn't even count them in my head. There's just that many.
Much was made of the fact that the gang members were Asian and their victims were white British girls. But the author of this new report believes it's actually society as a whole which has lost perspective.
We seem to have lost all sense of what a child is. A child is a child because they're immature, because they're open to manipulation, and we treat them as if they're adults, and they're not adults, they're children. And we need to regain our understanding of what a child is.
The COFFEY report is titled Real Voices and prioritises the first-hand experiences of the children themselves. The youngsters told how it had become common for them to be approached in the street by grown-ups. The report found that in some areas, sexual exploitation had become the social norm. In response to the COFFEY report, this Manchester community radio station is launching a new weekly show, also carried online, involving teenage presenters talking openly about the issues.
It's a lot of stress mentally, holding all that in. Like, you feel a lot better when you release that, so releasing it, just even if you don't say anything, but listening to us, talking, addressing the issue, knowing that people do care.
But alongside the improvements to child protection services, the report also highlights an explosion of explicit music videos and the normalisation of quasi-pornographic images. And COFFEY's report looks specifically at events in Rochdale. But for Rochdale, you could equally say Rotherham, Derby, Oldham, Oxford, other cities where child sexual exploitation has taken place. The reality is, as the report points out, this is not an isolated case in Rochdale. It is a real and ongoing problem. And here in Greater Manchester, for example, there are 260 live investigations now ongoing into allegations of child sexual abuse. The most important thing, according to the report, though, is not the agency's response to it, but challenging the cultural attitudes that make it possible in the first place. Paul Brennan, Al Jazeera, Greater Manchester.